You know, replacing Joe Biden with Kamala Harris is like changing your shirt because you shit your pants. You didn't fix anything. I still can smell you. Kamala, she does different accents.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union.
Depending on where she is, you know, down south. Let me tell you something. You boys better get it together here and vote. Save democracy. It was just great to see like Oprah and Bruce Springsteen and De Niro losing their mind. Didn't make any difference because like even the Amish people, they never vote. They're like, no, this time we're voting. Let's get the horse. Let's go. Come on, we're going there. Hey, Oprah, you. We're going to vote for the first time ever.
Things have taken a dramatic turn as Rob Schneider drops a startling revelation that sends the internet into a frenzy while Kamala Harris appears occupied trying to clear the chaos left behind. This situation wasn't just mildly entertaining, it cut much deeper, tearing apart a campaign that had been held together by nothing more than hopeful thinking and polished publicity. Schneider managed to shift Harris's image from a media favorite to the center of jokes in countless group chats, leading to a tough and unforgettable backlash. So buckle up, because even Harris's approval numbers haven't reached this level of turmoil. Simply put, everything is falling apart at once.
Nobody voted for Kamala. They just said, okay, you're it. They did this in 2016. Bernie Sanders, he was the guy that got all the votes in the primary. Like, we just give it to Hillary. In 2020, just everybody drop out, just give it to Biden. Then this year, it's like, everybody figured it out. His brain doesn't work. Let's just him. Here's what you have. You have somebody that nobody voted for, and you got somebody they tried to murder 2 times. I don't know which one's probably going to hold up democracy.
The first major shock arrived quickly, and Schneider stated it plainly, explaining that even within Kamala's own party, she was never truly liked. Honestly, without identity-driven politics, she would still be giving dull speeches somewhere in California. Before certain committees pulled her from the background, almost no one even knew her name. Recently, Bill Maher repeated the same points, frustrating voters and comedians alike. Her speeches, often compared to confusing ramblings, helped cement the nickname VP Zero.
That she's vulnerable on is the border. So she went to the border this week. She went to the border at Arizona. She used to be the border czar. She visited there. So interesting. Along with working at McDonald's, now that's 2 places she worked that have a convenient drive-through.
Honestly, the chaos at the border looked almost intentional during Kamala's time overseeing it. The entire situation is a mess. Kamala is missing from action like a teen, avoiding chores, and the numbers are humiliating. Schneider didn't just point out incompetence, he stressed the disrespect. On one hand, polished appearances pushed a candidate upward. Meanwhile, others have survived real threats to their lives. One receives authority while others struggle for it. Pretend leadership versus genuine courage. The contrast is easy to see clearly.
She does different accents.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union.
Depending on where she is, you know, down south. Let me tell you something. You boys better get it together here and vote. Save democracy.
And we're going to do it again in 2024.
Black community, she's like, shit, let me tell you something, honey. Let me tell you right now, we ain't vote for Trump, I even saw her at a 7-Eleven going like, listen, it's very important that we vote for the Democrats. We're trying to save democracy here. We're trying to save democracy.
The second major shock followed, with Schneider bluntly calling Kamala a trickster. Honestly, you'd probably need a skilled attorney to argue the opposite. Much like people switch their Wi-Fi passwords from room to room, she shifts her accent depending on the audience. Politicians change, sure, but Kamala's shifts feel like an uneasy attempt to rebuild her image. Voters noticed the act, they felt the awkwardness, they chose accordingly, and Schneider didn't stop there, pointing out how hard it is to overlook a politician who constantly gives off a polished imposter vibe.
I still seem confused as to why they lost this election. They want to think it has something to do with misogyny or racism. Well, let me clear it up for those still bewildered Democrats. You lost because you tried to tell the American people that the economy was great when they couldn't afford to buy groceries. You lost because you ran a moron in place of a president you knew was a corpse attached to a car battery. You lost because you lied
By this stage, the entire political circus was falling apart. Kamala wasn't the only figure losing trust. Voters had grown tired of pretending to accept a storyline packed with obvious distortions. Claims like men becoming pregnant, women's sports being overtaken by biological males, Biden being a strong leader, or January 6th being treated like another Pearl Harbor pushed people past their limits. Meanwhile, wealthy voices living in multi-million-dollar homes kept lecturing everyday Americans about real life, and the frustration became unavoidable. The backlash was inevitable, justified, and fully earned.
Oprah and Bruce Springsteen, De Niro losing their mind didn't make any difference because, like, even the Amish people, they never vote. They're like, no, this time we're voting. Let's get the horse. Let's go. Come on, we're going there. Hey, Oprah, you. We're going to vote for the first time ever. That's it.
This part is almost comical. Voters who had once boasted about never bothering to vote suddenly showed up at the polls determined to remove Biden and Harris from office. The woke crowd started to frustrate me, and even Hollywood couldn't bail them out. America's answer to their dramatic speeches, hashtags, and sad celebrity posts was a firm no. Border chaos, rising crime, and inflation dominated attention. No amount of A-list glamour could distract from the disaster. It was like trying to extinguish a house fire with a scented candle.
Replacing Joe Biden with Kamala Harris is like changing your shirt because you shit your pants. You didn't fix anything. I still can smell you.
We can't talk about Kamala without mentioning Joe Biden, her political support. Kamala would have had one of the easiest paths to the White House if Biden had managed even half of his responsibilities. Instead, his errors became her burden. Rising inflation, border chaos, and foreign policy missteps all reflected poorly on her. The administration unraveled like a folding chair at a backyard barbecue, leaving her to smile, nod, and act as if nothing was wrong. She inherited no legacy from Biden. He merely offered her a lifeline.
Okay. Are you mad? You okay?
No, he's not mad.
You're mad? That's okay. You know what the cool thing about it in America is? Free speech isn't the speech you like. Nice stuff's not what needs to be protected. It's the stuff that you hate that needs protection, so that somebody like the government or you doesn't get to decide what everybody else gets to hear. And you're more than welcome to disagree and write an act and get on stage and sell out like I just did.
Now let's turn to one of the most entertaining political issues. Woke liberals seem genuinely afraid of free speech, treating the First Amendment like a looming threat. Everything unravels once people start thinking independently. They censor, deplatform, shadow ban, and panic when someone expresses an unexpected opinion. Their goal isn't stopping false information, it's silencing ideas that make them uncomfortable. Deep down, they understand that the right to free speech threatens their carefully constructed house of cards.
I want to say something that's really important. What's happened under this administration, the Biden-Harris administration, and this affects all of you. They've secretly, not so secretly, put in the selective service back in, and I do not want any of you fighting on foreign soil. Any of you fighting on any war.
Schneider's final blow is a strong one. He claims Democrats aren't just clumsy politicians. They're quietly pulling Americans into global issues behind the scenes. It's not about secret recruitment, hidden alliances, or mysterious agendas, but the effect feels similar. Imagine what another 4 years would have looked like if even part of this were true. More citizens being dragged into situations they never agreed to, with growing confusion and less transparency. That's why these conversations matter. Schneider has pulled back the curtain, and those in power hate the light.